So yeah, we've been talking about how thoughts draw us out of our present experiencing. So we sit to meditate. Quite often we're drawn off by our thinking in one way or another. And we asked this question a few weeks ago about what is wrong with right now? This experience of right now. What is wrong with it? And there's this book called "What's Wrong with a." Yeah, it's called "What's Wrong with Right Now If You Don't Think About It." So much of our thinking is tied up in one or two places. So we're often thinking about the past, memories coming up. That memory, might be the conversation that we just had with somebody. Maybe it didn't go well, maybe it did, or we might be remembering further back into the past. Maybe a time when we were happy, wanting to get back to that time or that experience. Or we're imagining the future. So we imagine what it's going to be like when this happens, when that happens, when I get this, when I get that. And we're trying to get into this imagined future realm where everything is generally pain-free, generally pain-free, where everything is going swimmingly for us. So all of that thinking, when we're going back to the past and going into the future, is taking us out of our present moment experiencing. So the question is what's actually going on when we do that? So not what's going on perhaps on like on a psychological level, but what's going on in our direct experience. So do we ever have a thought that is not in the present moment? So thoughts about the past, imaginings about the future are all happening in present moment experience. So often our attempts to go into the past and get into the future in our thinking are because we're trying to avoid the present moment in some way. There's some underlying tendency to go to memory or future thinking, often out of some kind of unwillingness or aversion to the present moment. So a lot of ways our thinking mind operates as a kind of form of addiction. It's one of those forms of addiction that are sort of legal. Like so many forms of addictions, somehow society or governments decide which forms of addiction are illegal and which forms are illegal. But we get very addicted to going to our particular places. Our thinking takes us out of our current experiencing, which is what addictions do. We get addicted to alcohol. It changes our experience because in some way, we're not happy with our current experience. So we can do this exercise to become clearer about this. So this exercise is, it's really having a close look at what happens when we try to get into the past or go into the future. So we'll start in our usual way, and it's when doing these inquiries, it's always good to be in a meditative state to start with, and grounded in the body. So we'll do that, because when we are grounded in the body, um, and we're not lost in our thought, then it's much easier to see with these inquiries. We're seeing from our direct experience, and we're not seeing from our thinking. We're not spinning off into a series of thoughts about our experience. So I hope you're all up for that. Seeing through the illusion of time. Something to do on a Wednesday lunchtime, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, this can be quite a strong meditation. I remember the first few times I did this inquiry, getting a little bit freaked out. So if that does happen, just ease off a bit and just come back to the body and awareness of the body. So setting up our posture, making sure we've got a good stable base to our posture, and that our body is upright and alert as much as it can be, that we're not straining anywhere in the body in order to keep the posture going. So a good posture means minimal amount of energy goes into maintaining the posture. And we have these feelings of groundedness and alertness. If we like, we can take a few deeper breaths, breathing down into the lower abdomen. So full breaths. Often, if we are stressed or anxious, the breathing becomes very shallow and only breathe partially. So breathing down into the lower abdomen. And relaxing the body on the out breath. Letting the shoulders be relaxed. Unhooking from our thinking mind, and coming into awareness of the direct sensate experience of the body. So rather than attention and awareness following our thinking around, as it does much of the time, we're becoming aware of our tactile physical experience. When we settle into the body in this way, in this direct tactile way, it can feel like it's as if we're looking from inside whatever area of the body that we're focused on. So we could start with the face or the jaw, coming into the actual tactile sensations as they appear. And coming into the body in this way is very beneficial for our whole organism, the whole mind-body system. Energy that's caught up in thinking and associated emotional disturbance that may come with that thinking, such as anxiety or craving, is temporarily, at least, put aside. So we'll move our attention down through the body by contacting the various physical tactile sensations as we move down through the body. The more we can come into the body, and particularly lower down in the body, the further we are from the compulsion of our awareness, our intention following thought. So moving from the head and face, starting to notice whatever sensations we can in the throat and neck area. can seem very dull sometimes, the body, because we're not used to being aware of it. So there may be areas of the body, and the neck and throat may be one of these areas where we don't sense very much. And the thinking mind quickly gets bored of doing this. We just need to keep making effort, bringing our attention back to the physical body. Also noticing when we do come into the physical sensate body that this in itself can become very satisfying. Very calming. And coming down into the upper chest, so the area around the heart, the rib cage. So we may use a mental picture of the chest or the heart area in order to get there, but not staying with a mental picture of the heart, but looking for the actual physical sensations that are present. So there may be what are like muscular sensations, may also be an experience of some kind of tingling. So often when we look at the body very directly, it appears as a kind of energetic experience. Sometimes it doesn't appear like our idea of a physical body at all. So this is the difference between our ideas about the body and our experience, our direct experience in awareness of how the body appears. Coming down to the diaphragm. So that's the area at the bottom of the rib cage where the diaphragm muscle is located. A sense of movement. The diaphragm moves with the breathing. The chest moves. Staying with the physical sensations. It's like we're looking directly from that part of the body. And then going down into the lower abdomen. So the area of the abdomen below the navel. Picking up on the sensations there. If you want to, we can go down even further. So from the lower abdomen, going down to what's called the pelvic floor, the perineum. So this is an area of skin between the legs, between the buttocks, usually in what's in contact with the floor or cushions or chair. When we first go to this area to become aware, it can seem a bit vague. With all body meditation awareness, by paying attention in those areas, they start to become more apparent, more alive. If we have some sense of the pelvic floor, it's a kind of diamond shaped area. We can take some breaths. So imagine breathing in directly through the pelvic floor, breathing up energy, as it were, from the earth, on the ground, up into the body, up the spine, and out the top of the head. Just taking a few breaths like this can help to energize the body, brighten our awareness. So looking at our direct experience, what is our experience of the past right now? So I'm using the word experience quite deliberately, rather than what is your memory of the past? What is your actual experience of the past? Can you get back, experientially speaking, into the past? Can you actually get back to the experience of even a moment ago? Can you get back to that experience? Or is any experience of the so called past that is seemingly happening actually just a thought about the past? So, for instance, when we were being aware of the pelvic floor, that actual experience, trying to get back to it. Or does that appear just as a memory of that experience? Or if we try to go back further into the past, can we actually go back into that experience, or is what arises just a thought happening in this present moment? Thought in the form of memory. Remembering to come back to the body in this meditation. If we find ourselves spinning out into thoughts about what we're doing, just coming back to the direct sensate experience of the body. Going back to the lower abdomen. So having taken a look at the past in direct experience, what is your actual immediate experience of the future? Do you have any direct experience here and now of the future? Or is any so called experience of the future actually just a thought that is happening in current experience? And is that thought about the future happening in the future, or is it happening, as it were, as something passing through the present moment? Can you actually, in any real way, get into the future? Can you even get into what's happening in a few moments' time? And then, thirdly, can you find a present moment? Can you actually separate out in direct experience the present moment that can be got hold of in any way as distinct from the rest of experience? Something that you could say, yes, this is the present moment. Or is it more like, as soon as one tries to do that, it's instantly gone? And out of all of this, we just rest in simply what is. So we'll have a period of 10 minutes of uninterrupted, just sitting. If we wander off, come back to grounding ourselves in awareness, direct awareness of the physical sensate body. So this is from the ocean of true meaning text. It is said that you should cut through the elaborations concerning the 3 times. Do not create the concept of past. Do not create the concept of future. Do not create the concept of present. Let your awareness be completely relaxed in its natural state, without any fabrication or contrivance. If you do not know how to relax, the mind will not arrive at its natural state, and primordial awareness will not be experienced. In brief, do not think about previous thought. Do not think about the next thought. Think that thought is right now going on in my mind. Think what thought is going on right now in my mind. By looking directly at this instant present thought, the wandering mind is cut through instantly. And as long as you are undistracted, no thoughts will arise. But as soon as you become distracted, thoughts will immediately arise again. By considering the arising of thoughts as desirable and looking at them directly, the thoughts will dissolve on the spot, and you will go straight into non-conceptuality. In this way, take the arising of whatever thoughts appear as desirable and look at them directly. Do not make long practice sessions, but interrupt them while there is still clarity. Do short and frequent sessions.